In a world where news is everywhere, but the truth isn't always clear, it's time for a show that gives you straight talk on the issues that matter. From politics that shapes our future, the social issues that affect us all, to the economy that impacts your wallet every day. Join us for the Straight Talk Show, where we go beyond the headline and give you the real story. Politicians, economy, nothing's off the table. Get ready to hear it all the way it should be. Straight, no filters, no compromise. Are you ready for the truth? Watch Straight Talk Show with Jenk Sala, only on ThinkMina Media. Welcome to another session of Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Babukar Jeng, with ThinkMina Media. Fii la lepp di leere, abe be bondele ñoo kono jang. I welcome to my show Sister Tani, a report, a mother, a wife, and we all know what women are when it comes to emotions. And like I was teasing her earlier on behind the scenes, women, they don't have brains. They do have hearts, which I believe we're different from men. And I believe that women are keepers. And they are very vigilant. They pay attention to details. And coming from a different environment, which I believe is more challenging, to raise a child, to maintain a child emotionally, psychologically. So moving away from the West and coming to a different cultural setup where everything is kind of loose, literally, but some amount of control, and where everything is just out there, looking at children loitering and moving around alone in the streets, which is a different ballgame from probably where you come from. So what exactly are you going through as a mother, coming from the West and choosing to live here with the different mindsets that you encounter? So what exactly are the challenges from the mother's point of view?
So thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Yep.
It was a pleasure meeting you and having the encounter that we have had thus far for the time that we've been in the Gambia. So we've made our first entrance in August of last year, 2024. So we're coming up to almost 6 months of being in the Gambia. Being on the continent in itself, I think it's mind-blowing, because I don't know that anything would have prepared us or prepared me or my children, for that matter, making this transition to live in the Gambia in particular. So just a little bit about us coming and me trying to understand why my husband chose the Gambia. So we had a lot of preparation in terms of what we saw on YouTube and what we've kind of read, and just kind of making ourselves more familiar, aware of what we're coming into and trying to get prepared for this. But nothing could have prepared us as far as being here in person and seeing some of the things. YouTube gives you a perspective from whomever the person is who's sharing or doing the interview or what the topic is about. But coming here in particular and seeing everything live and in person, it really does a lot to your mental. And a lot of times I'm checking in with the kids because I want to know what they're thinking as well. And so, eyes are like cameras, right? So we're watching everything, and so much is passing, and Africa and the Gambia is so fast, and everything. We thought New York was fast. Like, we thought being in the West, everything was fast there, and everybody talks about speeding up. But we came from the airport and made a turn and ended up in Serekunda somewhere. And we just felt like, whoa, there were just so many people all in the cars, couldn't move. just the amount of movements and motion. It's really kind of something else to experience. And we are taking it in, and we're trying to take it in stride. And so we think that it's a challenge for us. Every day that we go out, we take time to breathe, we take time to talk and to say, what are the new experiences that we're having? What are we encountering? And what is it doing to us? Is it really changing us? How is it impacting us? Being here, everything's so different from what we know. So a woman, a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, all of what we deal with on different levels, it's most important that we stop and breathe in a moment, and we downtime with the kids at the end of the day so that we can assess what they're taking in from this experience.
Yes, like you've rightly mentioned, it's always difficult to adapt to change, and especially when it comes to the teenagers. It needs a lot of talking,
Yes,
a lot of convincing, because they own minds. And picking up a young mind, traveling with them to a place where they don't have, Disneylands and, those, yesterday I think we drove together, right?
Yes.
We're looking for a certain spice, what challenges are you going through, because coming here with the children, and the children have their different activities, they're in their own world, different from the older generation. I'm not saying you're old, but
certainly not.
there's a generation gap. There's a generation gap. And how are you managing all those emotions? Because I believe as men, we are strong enough, but as for women, the child spends a lot of time, in the womb, 9 months, suckling. They spend more time with the mother than the father. The father is busy trying to make the dollar out there. So what challenges are you going through, trying to get the kids to integrate? Because I think the job on your shoulder is heavier, than the man's.
So I think it'd be I think I wouldn't be truthful if I didn't say that there are days when I think that I don't think I can manage being here every day. I think that there are times when I'm going through my mind and thinking, yes, it's a challenge, but I'm thinking everything is just so different. So one of the things I'll tell you, real experience that we're having, experiencing like power outages and just being at home and everything is just shut off. I'm originally from Jamaica. And so the first 8 years of my life I spent in the Caribbean. And it's something that I knew about, but it's not something that I experienced. So if I'm real, if I'm truthful, I've heard people talk about that, and that happens in Jamaica. And, it's just like the water is gone or the electricity is gone, but it's kind of like I've never experienced it because I left Jamaica when I was 8. I migrated to the States in America. So majority of my life I've been in America where that was never a reality. And whenever we did have an outage, it was like a big outage. And it was like, something where the whole country was feeling that. So coming to Africa and having to deal with that, coming to the Gambia and it's on a regular, and then people are still talking while everything is dark and everything is still, nothing is functioning. It's like, oh, wow, this is a real thing, and it took some while. It took a little bit to get used to that. The water not being there. The kids are looking at me like, Mom, what are we supposed to do? And I'm just kind of like, well, we wait and see how long it takes to come back, But then in real time, you got to start making preparations for like, okay, we don't know how many hours is going to be gone. And so how do we prepare our minds for all of that? So all the things, my son, his biggest thing for me was, Mom, are we going to have Wi-Fi? Please tell me that we will have steady Wi-Fi, because he's a gamer and most of his friends are online. And so he just thought, no matter where I was in the world, as long as I'm able to connect with my friends. So now we come and then we're getting used to cash power. We don't know anything about that. And we're getting used to AfriCell, or which one works better in our community. I'm just sharing some of the challenges that we're having in the first 6 months, trying to figure out, arguing with people about customer service issues that nobody seems to care about, because it's almost like once they have your money, it's like, all right, well, sorry for you. You didn't figure that out before you got to this point, So all of these things, and so I'm taking all of my Western mind and my training and having to readjust to, okay, no, we're in Africa and this is how stuff works here. And I am trying to force myself and the kids to say, well, okay, let's see how we can rise to this challenge. Though I don't think we should be rising, to be honest. I think that the country needs to rise, or the people need to rise, but not to necessarily think that we can do that all in one day, obviously, or that I can train. I worked in sales as a sales manager in my career back in the States. And so I'm always into a training mindset, or a way to, maximize an opportunity to just teach, a teachable moment. So everywhere I go, I kind of have that hat on, and I want to do that. And then I have to stop and pause in a moment and think, okay, well, even if I say something to one person, it's a mindset of one person and not necessarily, well, the company. How does the company train? What is the company doing? How do they satisfy, customers' needs and all these things? So I have to kind of pause and figure out, okay, how do I want to handle this, or how do I address this to make it work while I'm adapting? So I think we've kind of figured out a good bit of that. My son seems to be adjusting very well. Getting him into school was a big deal for him also. Having to get up early now to take the bus into where the bus doesn't come all the way to where we live, but now we can kind of, within 15, 20 minutes get it in the morning. Having him adjust to just everything, the bugs, all of the bugs. I was like, guys, flies is a real thing here. Like everything is moving. There's bugs everywhere. So it was, the kids are just like, Mom, I'm not going in the kitchen because there's, and I'm just like, well, we gotta man up. We gotta do this. We gotta get tough, So it's teaching us so much. And it's an amazing experience. At the same time, I think we're trying to take it in real time, but some of it is bothering us, but we're trying to manage those challenges, because it's not things that we've had to deal with before.
It takes a lot of sacrifice, to fluctuate in between the standards. Yeah. Now that you spoke about education, looking at the mindsets, down this end, people, run to the West for better education.
Yes.
And you're running to Africa and bringing your children to educate them here. What exactly is the catch here? Because when you look at the standards, are you telling me that you're satisfied with the standards and the level of education that we have here, that you want to sacrifice the level of education when it comes to university or college or high school, which I believe your son goes to?
Yes.
Are you okay with the standards?
So to that point, education, what we've learned in the West, and the mindset of how they're taught in the West, right? As far as the classroom setting is concerned, everything in the West is technologically advanced. And so the way they learn and the equipment that they have and the things that they use to advance themselves, I would say is superior in that sense, as far as aiding them. But the challenge now that I have with my son in high school, so he's 16 years old, and something that I'm loving and appreciating is that his mind now is forced to think different. So now he's getting a real life training, an impact on how to really think opposite to just series of multiple choice questioning, how they teach where it's more of like memorization, where if you can just randomly remember certain concepts of certain things and you do process of elimination, maybe, you'll 50-50, you'll get it right, as opposed to here, now being taught in an international school on a British system. I'm knowing that he's rising to the challenge, because now you really have to learn the material. And so he's doing well. There's about 2 classes that I know he's having some issues with, which French is language that's necessary here. And one other subject, but the fact that he's risen to this challenge, I'm excited about that. And I think that I'm happy he's getting that opportunity to to have this difference. And so it definitely can only sharpen him. Certain things that he will learn in school in terms of the standard, how to carry yourself, how to conduct yourself. I think the standards are a little more relaxed in the West. I kind of like the fact that he's getting that training here.
Now I'm coming to the belly. Food. I'm sure you cannot carry all those habits from home. And looking at the shopping gimmicks, I don't think we have much. It's pretty much supermarkets that you can walk in and have a taste of what to get from the rags, and certain spices and certain chocolates and foods, and a couple of burgers in some fast foods, not Burger King though. How are you coping with the food on our markets as well? I'm sure you're not going to Serakunda Market.
I'm not going to Serakunda Market. Not at all.
Exactly.
So, Tanji,
and as the manager of the kitchen, and you have to feed him well and feed them well, I think that's something that I would really want you just to share, your experience, Yeah.
So over the last 6 months, okay, so we moved into our home where we are now in September. So prior to that, I wasn't really going to the markets as much per se, because we were in the hotels and just kind of transitioning there. Now, what I'm realizing is that everything in the West, a lot of it is preserved and preservatives, right? So we were able to carry things for much longer. What I'm realizing here is everything's organic, and they're not lasting as long. And so how we preserve things here and how we handle it as far as day to day, everything is fresher. You go through it faster. Our lives were so busy in the West. A lot of times meals, we kind of always did grab and go kind of things there. Here, I'm finding that because everything you have to make from scratch, and again, it's Caribbean cooking, right? Because I'm here in the Gambia, and I have 1 or 2 friends that'll teach me some Gambian dishes and so on. I haven't started to venture out to try any of them on my own as yet, but we make things that are similar.
And so you guys love super kanja as well.
Well, definitely, right? Because my husband, being from the Caribbean, also from Trinidad in particular, that reminds him a lot. That meal reminds him a lot of something they make in Trinidad called kalaloo. And Benachin, the one pot situation, Jamaicans do that as well, right? But we do it in a different way. It might have a different flavor because we're using different seasoning spices. But I'm appreciating it. Tangi Market, I'm building up the nerves to get into Tangi. The other day, I actually had to stop, and I ran in and I had to pick up some things, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. So a friend of mine has been helping me to get like certain grocery things that we need. But the fresh fruits and vegetables, I'm really loving, and my kids are getting into that as well. We didn't always have access to that as much because, like I said, we don't get fresh mangoes a lot in America. That's seasonal, and all the other things here, everything is, we'll go to a guy's farm and he has oranges, and you're getting tons of oranges, or you're getting tons of lime, and you're making fresh juices and so on. I'm sure my husband's appreciating that a lot because it's reminding us of home back in the Caribbean. So the kids are adjusting well to that. And when we get a chance, we're on the go family. So we do eat out a lot. And that kind of helps us as well. We found some wonderful places to go to that we trust. So it's not as challenging because I think once we know the dishes that we're making, my daughter also helps me a lot in that department. So when we're out doing business and we're running late, she usually helps me in that area. As long as we grocery shop, she's good. And she kind of takes care of her little brother while we're out.
I'm sure if the businessmen are watching out there, they'll be thinking, okay, we need to have a supermarket called Made in America.
Made in America.
Yeah. Where you guys can just walk in and see everything that you know out there.
Yes.
I think it's possible. So, like you said, value, comes with standards.
Yes.
Setting standards.
Yes.
I think right now, I believe that Gambia and Africa should set standards.
Yes.
Because we deserve the standards.
Yes.
We have very smart people, very intelligent, But most of our smart and intelligent people are locked in all over the West, making impact in the West, Gambians in particular, who are educated, they have the money, and they can do real investments, big time, home, but certain circumstances around, there are deep issues that are, around this myth that, they choose to be out there, not to come home. Some is lack of patriotism. They're not taught in school. They don't know what patriotism is. Even if they know, probably, they don't want to pay the price and make the sacrifices. So maybe one day you will have Made in America, where you can just shop. The reason why I tie my question around the house, because you're the Minister of Interior. You make sure that everything in the house is in, you have the most difficult job, to keep, repatriation, easy for a man, or a husband or a friend. You have sisters. You have family members who are out there. You're here. Maybe they might think you're crazy,
They do.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is he doing out there? So I think, when here is well organized, and you go through all the challenges, you could be, a gateway. You could be a consultant, to make sure that you will sell Gambia, because Gambia needs to be sold. It's not bad.
Yes.
It's not bad.
I will share this. My family, they are looking to us, I should say, to be that eyes and to be that window to look into Africa. A lot of my friends, they're so excited that we've made this journey and that we're doing this. My husband has always been someone that dreams big and envisions big and steps out there and launch out there. And I'm always the caution, because, he'll be the guy that can't swim and jump off the deep side.
I wonder how you can take it to be the wife of a visionary.
So I'm sitting there like, dude, you can't swim. What are you doing on the deep end, But then he's bold enough and brave enough to do that, right? And then I'm adventurous enough to want to try it with him. And so, of course, my family and friends do think I'm crazy, but they're excited about it also, because they're thinking, man, we wish we could do something like that. So us coming here, I know it's a great opportunity for us, especially in this time, and especially at a time when I think that Africa needs us in the sense that we've done so much in America. We've gone through, careers, or we've gone through so many ups and downs, but for everything that we know now, and for where our children are, and for poising ourselves even for the future, I'm super excited that we are here and that we're taking this. And though it doesn't feel comfortable right now, I do think it's going to pay off. I think that if we just endure, and if we can go through these challenges, a lot more of us are going to come. I know the Jamaican community is pretty big here in the Gambia, and I'm excited that I am Jamaican, because then I come into a country where I feel welcome. I feel that my Jamaican family, at least, will be able to experience the Gambia from my eyes and my perspective, and they too will want to be here. And more of us will come with everything that we have learned for all the time that we've been in America, and even in Jamaica, just being in the West period, and then coming back to the continent and sharing that. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, and it's a good time to introduce Africa to our children.
Yes.
And my son, who is in the States studying business as well, he hasn't visited us yet, so I'm hoping that he will come soon. So now they will have this window and this opportunity here as well.
I wish he will see this interview and know that there's a Gambian African who can speak English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that we own minds, and also there are smart people and there are opportunities that are
His
here.
name is Sage, so tell him that.
Exactly. Hey, Sage, and you're watching? Yeah, you need to pack your bag and start coming home before it's too late.
Yes.
Anyways, like they say in Wolof, Balangan and Nam Nefa. Before you say yes, you have to be there. Balangan and Nam Nefa. Can you say after me? Balanga. Nenam. Nefa. That's Wolof. That's your first word. So here we go. This is Straight Talk Show. Feel a lepudelere, a bay, the bundle in your konajang. I give you appointment till another time, as we keep it straight here and clear. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.